Check, check. Check, check. Welcome to LA Press Box, everybody. We're glad you're with us again as the Dodgers continue their weekend series against the Detroit Tigers at Comerica Park. Whether you're blacked out, away from a television, following along on the road, or simply looking for a deeper way to experience Dodgers baseball and even Tigers baseball, LA Press Box is your live game companion. The command center will handle all the live numbers, both before in the game, as you can see now with the lineups we'll go through in a moment, as well as during the game, while we focus on the matchups, performance, and strategies. We'll also, of course, encourage people to get in the chat and have a lively discussion about what's going on. And Los Angeles finally stopped its 3-game losing streak Friday afternoon. They beat the Tigers yesterday 2-1. After being swept in 3 consecutive one-run games in Atlanta, the Dodgers immediately found themselves in another one-run game in Detroit, and this time they finished it. Freddie Freeman delivered the decisive hit in the 8th inning, driving in Teoscar Hernandez with a 2-out RBI single to give LA the lead. The Dodgers bullpen protected it from there. It wasn't an offensive explosion by any stretch of the imagination. And in fact, it took Dave Roberts inserting 2 pinch hitters to get the Dodgers on the board. First of all, Kike Hernandez, who singled, and then Miguel Rojas, who brought him in with an RBI pinch hit single. So for all of the criticism that I'll give Dave Roberts about his decisions with the pitching staff and the timing there, I think he does an outstanding job, and he has for a long time when it comes to inserting the right batters in the right time. Now LA has Blake Snell on the mound, and Saturday morning, as we are from Pacific time, getting close to first pitch at 10:10 a.m., he is going to be facing off indirectly against Keiter Montero. Over the last 10 games, it's really been an up and down for the Dodgers. Their record is 7-3. They won 6 straight, then they lost 3 straight, and then they won yesterday in the one-run narrow game against this really solid and feisty Detroit Tigers team. But another opportunity today, thanks to Freddie Freeman putting them ahead and hitting a couple of clutch singles after struggling at the plate and really looking to the sky after a strikeout, but followed it up with 2 huge hits. Freddie, by the way, has not hit a home run, I believe, in a month and a half. But right now, they need other people to step up with the power, especially since Andy Pajes is out for the next couple of weeks with a broken hand at the least. As far as the Tigers go, they demonstrated immediately that this series isn't going to be easy. Tigers entered Friday having undergone really substantial roster changes around the trade deadline, most notably because they sent skubal to LA. But of course, they held the Dodgers to only 2 runs, and the Dodgers did not get a hit, I don't believe, until the 4th inning, thanks to second baseman Tommy Edman. So, what about today? We have, as we said before, Blake Snell on the mound, who's got a record, as you can see over my shoulder, of 2-1 with a 2.57 ERA. And his return from injury really has become one of the most encouraging developments of the second half of this season for the Dodgers. When he returned earlier this month, there were several questions. Would his velocity be there? Would the breaking stuff generate chase? Would he have good command? The answer to all questions has been yes, overwhelmingly yes. And in his typical deadpan way and kind of a funny delivery when he gets interviewed after the games, he says that he's feeling the best he has since he had those loose bodies and his elbow removed in the last couple of years. And that's a great sign for the Dodgers as they march towards the playoffs. Because as we know, Blake Snell has won the Cy Young Award in the past twice for best pitcher in the league. As far as looking at his last 3 starts, on August 11th versus Kansas City, he pitched 6 innings and had 10 strikeouts, and his stuff was definitely back. On August 17th, at Colorado, another 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. And so through his first 2 starts back, 12 innings, 19 strikeouts, followed up by his last start, August 23rd versus Pittsburgh. And that came against a team in Pittsburgh that has one of the best batting offenses, one of the best offenses in the league. At that point, we kind of had a little bit of a small question facing, that caliber of an offense was a question to be answered for him, but the evaluation definitely changed, and if you would like to think of it, got locked in that Blake Snell is back. He is really good, and only time will tell through the course of the rest of the season how good it's going to be. But on the other side of the ledger, he's got Kiter Montero, and we're going to get to that righty in just a second. But first, as always, we'll take a look at the defense that's backing up Blake Snell, who at this point, in somewhat limited action since he's been back, has only 9 walks to the 26 strikeouts that he's recorded in those 3 outings. Hunter Fiducia gets the starting position behind the plate to work with Snell, although really good reports coming out of the Dodger camp saying that Will Smith might be back before the playoffs. He actually had a minor league assignment and was able to hit a home run in his first at bat. So that's absolutely great news because we've been plugging in and trying different catchers all throughout the season to try to hold things together until he gets back, assuming he could. And for a time, I did not think he could. But it looks like he's definitely coming back soon, as well as Shohei Ohtani on the mound, which we can talk about a little bit later. Freddie Freeman will be at first base, Tommy Edman at second, Mookie Betts at third, Mookie Betts at short, Max Muncy at third, Teoscar Hernandez in left again, Alec Thomas, recently called up last week from the minors, in center, and then Kyle Tucker in right field. So Snell and that defense will face a pretty middle-of-the-pack offense. Obviously, the Detroit Tigers only scored 1 run yesterday, but part of that was because skubal had such an outstanding outing. Only gave up 1 earned run. That one was on him. Actually gave up a double on the first batter to face him, and then was just off and running as he has been the last couple of starts. So as far as the lineup goes, batting first will be Gleyber Torres at second base, then Lee at third, McGonigal at shortstop, and the DH Dingler, batting .252 and has 82 RBI, which in our case, in my mind, puts him in the elite category. Anybody in the top 20 in the league should be elite, and so that's why we've highlighted that in yellow. Eduardo Valencia follows up in the 5th spot. Torkelson at first base, who robbed Max Muncy of a double, maybe even a triple by climbing the ladder yesterday and catching a line drive that was destined for the right corner of the stadium. Follows that. Ben Malgeri, in right field in the 7th spot. Baez in left field in the 8th. And then Max Clark bringing up the rear in center field, batting .244. So Montero, as you can see, his record is 9-8. He's got a 3.30 ERA with 89 strikeouts. And this is not a matchup the Dodgers should really treat casually. The numbers immediately distinguish Saturday's matchup from facing a back-end starter, somebody who was kind of thrown into the starting lineup from the bullpen as a result, in part, of the trade that sent Tarik Skubal away from the Tigers to the Dodgers. Montero has been legitimately effective as a starter. He isn't dependent upon overpowering hitters with elite strikeout totals, and his effectiveness really comes from controlling plate appearances and preventing opponents from consistently generating damaging contact. So LA needs to force him to work. They need to have long at-bats like Freddie Freeman does on a pretty regular basis. He had one yesterday before he ultimately struck out on the 11th pitch. But then, of course, as we said before, followed it up with the next 2 at-bats where he had key hits that put the Dodgers over the top for good. Of course, the Dodgers are going to have to string together hits and be more productive on the scoreboard. I know that's a really basic thing to be saying. But when you look down here below the pitcher and the defensive lineup of the Tigers, there's no question that the Dodgers, at least statistically, have one of the best offenses in baseball. And for months, they have ranked, if not in the top 5, in the top 10 of every offensive category. But what they struggled to do for long stretches, including and especially during the 7-game losing streak, is to push runners across the plate that are in scoring position or that are on first base to start an inning. They have a knack of either drawing a walk or getting a leadoff hit to start an inning with nobody out, and then they often waste it. And one way, probably the worst way that they waste it, is by leading the league and grounding into double plays. And so that's something that, of course, they have to address and hopefully get rectified as they get closer to the playoffs. Today, as usual, Shohei Ohtani will be leading off. This is the first time in weeks I have not seen him in gold. In terms of batting average, he was before yesterday's broadcast. Now he's slipped down with a batting average of .283. And yesterday, he did not really do much at the plate. In fact, he struck out twice, both times not looking good. Freddie Freeman is in the 2nd spot. He's playing first as always, and he's batting .302 with an OBP of .374. Mookie Betts is in the 3rd spot. Max Muncy, once again cleanup, slugging percentage of .496. Tommy Edman, second base, is in the 5th spot. Kyle Tucker slots up 1 from yesterday to the 6th spot. So does Teoscar Hernandez, who's batting .248 and still underperforming on the season, in much the same way that Mookie Betts is. And then in the 8th spot, Hunter Fiducia actually moves up. Normally, either Fiducia or Ben Rortvedt, whoever gets the catch, they alternate pretty much every day, is in the 9th spot, and then followed by Alec Thomas, who did get a couple of hits as soon as he was called up from the minor leagues, but struggled in the last week to some extent, although he's done a nice, serviceable job in center. So he is bringing up the rear, batting .180. All right, as you can see on our timer, first pitch is slated for about 3 minutes from now, and that gives us a little bit of time for our question of the day. And you can go ahead and type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat. Type a 1 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to come back from behind today and win. Type a 2 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to hold on for the victory late. 3 if you think this game's going to go to extra innings. And honestly, with all the one-run games that they've had recently, I'm kind of inclined to think voting 3, but I'll stay out of it. And then number 4 if you think the Tigers are going to bring it home. So 1 in the chat if you think the Dodgers will have a comeback victory today. 2 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to hold on after getting a lead at some point. 3 if it's going to go to extra innings. And 4 if you think the Tigers are going to take this one. Meanwhile, with just a little bit of time left, we want to make sure that we are locked and loaded for Shohei Ohtani to start this game off, because you never know when he's going to hit a leadoff home run. And with this time left, we always invite people, if you haven't already, get your favorite snack and a drink while we load the 3D. I agree with you, Alaska. Just got back from a nice walk at the duck park with Charlie, so hopefully he'll be chill during this broadcast, but he'll probably try to jump up on my lap at least once. All right, Shohei Ohtani set to lead off the Dodgers, who are hoping to be much more productive offensively than they have been the last couple of games. Scored 2 runs yesterday. The first one, because of 2 pinch hitters that came into the game, did not even start. Then the game before that lost 1-0, the Atlanta Braves. And Ohtani has an early count of 1-1. Been stuck on 30 home runs for more than a week. And the next pitch is swung on and missed by Ohtani from Montero. And he pulled his head and the rest of his momentum away from home plate. And that's one of the things that is a weakness for Shohei, especially when he's trying to make really hard contact. Oh, and does the same thing again. I don't know. I don't have instant replay on 3D, guys. But watch him the next time he's up. Closed his eyes on the replay. So needless to say, that's not going to help. But if you look at the 3D, because it's such an amazing mirror of what exactly is happening in the game, at the moment that his bat crossed over home plate, the brim of his cap was pointed right at the pitcher. And it should be pointed at home plate to indicate that he's making eye contact, or what they would tell little kids in baseball, to see the ball hit the bat. Can't do that by looking at the pitcher. So one away, and now Freddie Freeman, who got an RBI to put the Dodgers ahead for good yesterday, comes up. And this one is flied high to right field. And Malgeri's going to come up because it's shallow and make the catch for the second out of the inning. So now Mookie Betts comes up, who last night was 1 for 4 with a walk. Only batting .239. And the first pitch, just outside. Mookie takes it for a ball. Mookie's got 16 home runs on the season. Mookie has 47 RBI. He's been very spotty throughout the season. Very spotty. You know, he's had some games where he's been very productive. As that one is called a ball. And Detroit chooses not to challenge, so it counts 2-1. But he has not been consistently productive enough for the Dodgers. And I'm sure he would agree for Mookie Betts. Ooh, Montero with a big looping curveball just catches the top of the strike zone. And he evens the count at 2-2. Next pitch on the way from Montero. And it's grounded to the hole, but Torres is able to cross over from second base and make the play for the third out of the inning. So the Dodgers go down 1-2-3. Go to the bottom of the first. Dodgers and Tigers, no score. All right. Hopefully we get treated to another sparkling gem of an outing by Blake Snell. As the catcher Hunter Fiducia throws down, and the Tigers get set to face him for the first time today. Since Blake Snell's returned from his injury, get this, his earned run average, his ERA, is 1. 1. It's been absolutely dominant. I would say at this point he's the best starting Dodger pitcher. I mean, over the course of the time that since he's been back. First pitch is in there for a strike and fouled back by Torres. And one of the things that's made him so good is starting counts with a strike. Like he just did. The next pitch is well high for a ball. And the count's 1-1. Facing Gleyber Torres, who's batting .261 with 35 RBI. Next pitch on the way from Snell, and it's a fastball, and Torres just gets a piece of it and finds himself behind 1-2. Pitch inside for a ball, and the count's 2-2. Next pitch, big looping curveball, and it gets to the perfect spot on the lower inside corner. And a really difficult pitch to handle, and all of a sudden Snell, the first batter, has a strikeout on the board. Now he's going to face the two-hitter Lee, who's batting .268. Lee, born in Taiwan, 23 years old. Interesting question of the country of Taiwan and its status, but we can talk about that later. And Snell jams up Lee on the inside part of the plate and forces him to foul, but not out of play. So the Dodgers make the catch, and very quickly Snell's already retired the first two batters. And now McGonigal comes up. The shortstop, batting third, is the first Tigers rookie All-Star since 1987. That's really saying something. You're an All-Star your first season in the majors. Not going to phase Snell one bit. McGonigal's batting .276 for the record. 14 home runs, 56 RBI. And that one misses outside and in the dirt, but as he often does, and he's doing already today, Snell starts the batter in a hole. Now getting ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch. On the way, and he bounces this one in the dirt. Evens the count, 2-2. And the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike three. So already, Snell has struck out two batters. And we're only in the first inning. And at the end of one, we are scoreless, 0-0. All right, Montero set to come back up, and the Dodgers trying to not get off to a slow start today. But the first three batters retired in order by Montero. Number 4 hitter is going to come up, Max Muncy, who had a quiet day yesterday. But one time, I'll turn this camera over a little bit, he hit a shot that almost got to the right corner of the field here. It would have landed just inside, just to the left of the white mark fair, and it would have curled into the corner for at least a double, a much needed double, maybe even a triple, because Max Muncy's lost some weight and he's a little bit quicker this year. But the first baseman jumped up and snatched it out of the air and stole it from him. Muncy had a couple of bad-looking strikeouts yesterday too, one in which he just threw the bat. So after an 0 for 4 night, he's looking to redeem himself today, and he still gets the opportunity, being in the 4 spot for the Dodgers. And despite the fact that Freddie Freeman has displayed a lot of power in the past, and of course Shohei Ohtani has too, I really right now think of him in this moment as the true cleanup hitter for the Dodgers, although usually it happens later in the game. And to Max Muncy's credit, in crucial situations, that's when we see his power surface, where he almost always pulls the ball. And this is, of course, why you can see the defense is shifted way over to the right, the same side that Max Muncy is standing relative to home plate. But so far, nothing but balls for Muncy. And this one, finally in the strike zone, and he fouls it back and out of play. So the count is 3-1. The thing the Dodgers have to do is they have to be disciplined. They have to be patient at the plate. They have so many veteran hitters. Muncy's only one of them. The next pitch from Montero, oh boy, it was a strike and a fastball at that, right down the middle of the plate, but Muncy just did not make the contact he would have liked to, and he pops it up shallow in left field, and the Tigers catch it for the first out of the inning. So now Tommy Edman comes up, playing second base, and batting .267. His first month back, after getting ankle surgery and rehabbing, he was on fire, but now he's kind of come back down to earth. And the first pitch is swung on, and it's flied to left center, in fact, and Baez is able to get over there without any trouble and make the catch for the second out of the inning. Yes, Baez, 2 away. See, kids, even the pros communicate. At least that's what they're supposed to do on a regular basis. So now Kyle Tucker comes up. Tucker actually did some positive things at the plate last night. For whatever reason, he plays better on the road at the plate than he does at home. Drew 2 walks and got a base hit last night. And that pitch is well inside, and the count's even to Kyle, 1-1. And check swing, but did not go with that outside pitch, and the count's 2-1. But the Dodgers have invested a lot of money in Tucker and some of these other players that are in the bottom half of the batting order. Teoscar Hernandez, to name another. They just have to be more productive. Even if they get on board with Freddie Freeman's strategy of just stringing together hits. Two-2 pitch to Tucker. And he fouls it off. Stays alive. Tucker's only batting .229. 57 RBI. And the next one in the strike zone and fouled back. It's interesting because he swung at that one and really got low in terms of his knee bend. And his knee bend was below the ball. It was in a spot. He could have done something. He could have done some damage with that pitch. So the count remains 2-2. And Montero delivers another and also fouled back. That was a fastball, 97 miles an hour. Eighth pitch coming up for this at bat. And that's something else the Dodgers should do with their experience and their discipline at the plate, is drive pitch counts up, make these pitchers work, and get to their bullpen as quickly as possible. Tucker looks at that one. That's well inside and low. And now the count's full. See if he's able to draw another walk. And Montero tries a sinker on him. And it's in the strike zone, but Tucker fouls it back and out of play. So the count remains full. Tucker's taking his hacks and protecting the plate. And the 10th pitch on the way from Montero. And that one misses low, so Tucker draws a walk. So the Dodgers have a runner on with 2 outs, and here comes Teo. Teo's batting .248. Had a couple of hits last night. Only has 11 home runs on the season. Now, to be fair, he did miss a chunk of time. He missed several weeks with a hamstring injury. But it's still below, proportionally, game for game, where you would expect Teo to be. And I don't know that I'd say he's playing well enough to have an Achilles heel. But if there is a weakness, it is the curveball, and he swings and misses at the first pitch, which is exactly that. And the thing that can make him look really silly, that a lot of pitchers will save until there's 2 strikes, is a curve that starts down the middle and breaks outside. That was a slider, looked somewhat similar. But Teo takes it for a ball. And that is a fastball, 96 miles an hour. He just blows it right by Teo. And the Dodgers, once again, leave a runner on. So we go to the bottom of the second, and it's still a scoreless ball game. All right, Blake Snell comes back to the mound for the Dodgers. Faced 3 hitters and already has 2 strikeouts. One he didn't strike out, he got him to foul out to the right of first base. Now Dingler is going to face him. Dylan Dingler is batting .252 on the season. He has 26 home runs. That's a respectable total. I think that's the same as Max Muncy. Swings and misses at the first pitch, and once again, Blake Snell is ahead in the count early. And the next pitch, fouled back for strike 2, 0-2. Dingler also has 82 RBI in the season. That's a reason he's in the cleanup spot. And this one is popped to shallow right, and Freddie Freeman's going back, but it drops in the perfect spot, almost like a chip shot in golf, in a spot where neither Freeman nor Kyle Tucker can get to it. And with 2 strikes, Dingler gets a hit. First hit given up by Blake Snell so far. Now Valencia comes up in the 5 spot. First pitch swung on, and it was a ball, but it's going to be fouled in front of the Dodger dugout, and Freddie Freeman is able to catch it before it goes out of play. And 1 away. So now the shortstop, Torkelson, comes up. Sorry, first baseman. That's somebody else. Torkelson's batting .221. What do you know? Blake Snell gets ahead in the count early again. He's got to have, since he's come back from his injury, at least a 2-to-1 ratio in terms of batters that he starts with a strike versus batters that he starts with a ball. Snell looks over at first with the 1-1 count on Torkelson. And he throws the next one inside. The count's 2-1. A weakness that Blake Snell has is holding the runner at first base, which is a little surprising for a lefty because, of course, when they're out of the stretch, they can stare straight at that guy in the eyeballs before they deliver home. Gets Torkelson to chase one, and now the count's 2-2. But more than once since he's been back, he's allowed a runner at first to get a really good jump and put the catcher in a bind. And neither of the catchers that we have right now have particularly strong arms. This one is inside and in the dirt, and Fiducia is able to block it. Now the count's full. And the next pitch is popped up. Blake is getting a lot of these guys to pop up. And Tommy Edmonds able to go back into shallow right and make the catch for the second out of the inning. So now Ben Maljury comes up for his first crack at Blake Snell today. Maljury's in the 7th spot, batting .299. Sorry, excuse me, .229. Ben's played in 36 games. Has 3 home runs, 11 RBI. Blake Snell starts him, and usually for Blake Snell, with a ball. The next one also misses, so even more unusual. 2-0. Two outs and a man at first. And that one just catches the top of the strike zone. Now it's 2-1. Malgeri wisely did not challenge. Snell looking over at first and throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right down the pipe for strike 2. Now Snell backs off the mound, pulls out his little scouting card, trying to decide what to throw Malgeri here. He's the person in charge of calling pitches for himself. This is why he often goes to his left hip. He almost always will go to his left hip and touch it where the button is located for him to be able to signal to the catcher what he's going to throw before each pitch. And the next pitch misses high. Now the count's full. What's interesting is sometimes on a TV broadcast, they'll show Snell with a camera angle from over first, and it looks like he's staring straight into your soul. It's like he's breaking the fourth wall. And he gets Malgeri to strike out on this one, and another strikeout for Snell to end the inning. So at the end of 2, it's still the Dodgers 0 and the Tigers 0. All right, Montero's set to come up, and he's made the Dodgers look pretty toothless so far today. The only thing that they have done offensively that is productive is draw a walk, and that was Kyle Tucker, and they did nothing with it. So, of course, they don't want to get into a pattern of falling behind early and not scoring until late. And then, needless to say, not scoring many runs. That's been the pattern the last couple of games. But now the catcher, Hunter Fiducia, comes up. And he looks at the first pitch, outside for a ball. And check swing foul on that one. He's not happy with himself, but the count is 1-1. Dusha's moved up a spot, so batting 8 for the Dodgers with a batting average of .243. Might not be the most fun thing, although I think it's more engaging. But if we were going to expect anything out of today, it would be another one-run game, as the Dodgers have had 14 of them this month. Oh, and this one's blasted into right, and it goes deep, but right at the warning track, and it just happened to be at Maljury. So great contact by Fiducia, just happened to be not in the spot he wanted. If he had hit that in the gap, or if he had hit that like down the line, it would have been a double easy. So kind of stalks into the Dodger dugout, a little bit disappointed, and now the center fielder Thomas comes up. And swings at the very first pitch and pops it up to center field. It's not going to be any problem. This is not what we want. We want these guys, especially the veterans. Now, Thomas is not a veteran. He just pulled it from the minors about a week ago because of the hand injury to Andy Pages. But we've got to make the pitcher work. Can't let him get off the hook by just popping up easily on the very first pitch. If you're going to swing on the first pitch, you've got to make good contact. So now the Dodgers go back to the start of the lineup with Shohei Ohtani, who struck out his first time up and had really nothing of note that he did at the plate last night. Had a couple of really bad-looking strikeouts. His first at bat last night, he swung and missed at a ball that was inside and low. Then later on in the game, he just watched a ball go almost to the middle of the plate for strike three. That one misses low, and the count's even 1-1. Batting .282. Swings at this one, and it's going to be a little bit of trouble, and it drops into left field for the Dodgers' first base hit of the game. So now Freddie Freeman comes up, who was really, I don't know if I'd say the hitter, but definitely the difference. He wasn't the hero, rather. He was the difference in the game yesterday. And he swings at the first pitch, and he pops out to left field. Golfs it in that trademark Freddie Freeman swing type. And so the Dodgers get their first hit. Not a solid one, but it still counts. More importantly, no runs. And we go to the bottom of the third, and it's still scoreless. So Blake Snell comes back out, who is once again in command, and looks like he might be throwing another gem. They've all been gems since he's been back from rehab. He was gone for 3 months, but had surgery to remove loose bodies in his elbow, and says since he's been back, this is the best he's felt in years. I would argue he's as good, if not the best, starting pitcher as of this moment for the Dodgers. He's given up a hit, but it was a bloop of all bloops. It's 3 strikeouts. And what that means for Dodgers fans, if you live in the LA area, You're 4 strikeouts away from a free jumbo jack tomorrow. That pitch misses outside. And Snell starts with a ball to Baez. Baez batting in the 8th spot. And his average is 258. That one's called a strike, but Baez is going to challenge it. Gave the signal by tapping his head. And the challenge is successful. The replay machine says it did miss by a little more than an inch. That one did not miss, but Baez swung and did. And now the count is 2-1. That one misses just outside, and Snell does a little hop jig, but his body language doesn't make a difference, and the count's 3-1. Now Snell's starting to look down at the front of the mound, checking his footing, as he throws that one out of the strike zone and walks Baez. Only his 5th walk of the entire year. So now Max Clark comes up in the 9th spot, batting .244, top young prospect for the Tigers. And Clark is able to square up and bunt. Max Muncy comes up and flubs the ball. Oh, man. So not only does Clark successfully move the runner, he didn't even have to sacrifice himself. Once he picked it up, and then as he was trying to transfer it from his glove to his hand and throw to first, the ball just popped up over his head. And now the Tigers have runners at first and second with nobody out. So good timing by the Tigers, because now they come to the top of the lineup with Torres. Gleyber Torres is 0 for 1. Started the game off with a strikeout to Blake Snell. And swings at this one, and he's driven it pretty deep into right center. And the runners are on their way. It's going to bounce and then hit the high part of the wall as both runners are able to come around, and it looks like the play at the plate is not in time for the Dodgers. Although they may take a look at this one on the replay. And you probably saw the body language of the first runner home saying, "Get down, get down." And we'll see if they confirm whether the headfirst slide was in time for the second run for the Detroit Tigers. Okay, and they made the right call on this one. So they have, at Comerica Park here, they have a wall behind the wall. And that yellow line that you see off on the horizon, that's the official home run / ground rule double line. And what happened on that was there was a deep drive, it hit the grass, then it bounced over the yellow line and hit off of this little black piece that you can see in the on the horizon just under me. That's above the yellow but under the crowd. So there's like a double layer of black, one below the yellow line, one above the yellow line, and it bounced off of that part that's above the yellow line. And so it's a ground rule double. And the good news for Dodgers fans is that because it was a ground rule double, whenever it is, the ball is dead. Action stops. And so that runner that tried to come around from first and score was not eligible to. And so he's going to be held up at third base. But the Dodgers still in some trouble because there's no outs and there's runners second and third, 2 runners in scoring position. And now Blake Snell comes over and talks to the umpire and runs off the field. So we're going to find out what this is about. I'm going to guess it might be some kind of equipment malfunction. But got permission, Blake did, from the umpire to run off the field briefly, and he's still in the Dodger dugout. And nobody on the Dodgers coaching staff is acting alarmed. Now Snell is jogging back out. I don't know his glove well enough to know if he switched that or... I'm going to guess it's a new glove, but I'm not exactly sure why. But he doesn't seem to be fiddling with the communication system that's on his belt or the piece that's inside of his hat. And he wasn't looking around the mound or the infield as if he dropped his scouting report card. So we'll find out later. But if I had to take an educated guess, I would say it's his glove. He wanted to switch gloves for some reason. So he gets back to work, and he's pitching against Lee. And after a couple of warm-up throws, Lee swings at the first pitch, and he flies it foul and to the right of first base, where Freddie Freeman's able to back up and make the catch. So Clark's still on third and Torres still on second. And no easy double play presenting itself with runners at second and third and only 1 out. So Snell still got his work cut out for him. And the first pitch just misses by a hair outside. And now Snell has a little different pattern. He's starting these batters with a ball. McGonagall's 0 for 1. And that one does catch the strike zone and evens it at 1-1. Next pitch on the way from Snell. Misses high. Fastball at 97. Counts 2-1. McGonagall batting .275. And that one's even higher. Now the count's 3-1. So Snell seems a little bit out of sorts. Not in his comfort zone. And on the verge here of loading up the bases. So trying to gather himself. Buys little time by going to the back of the mound, picking up the rosin bag and flopping it in his hand a couple of times. Now number 7 ready to get back to work and delivers. Ball 4 outside. So he does load the bases. And there's going to be a trip to the mound by the pitching coach. And a good decision by Pryor. You can't see coaches with the 3D. Sometimes they're misrepresented what they do as a 3D doing there. They patting each other on the cheeks, locking arms. Oh my gosh. I'll take suggestions in the chat for what you think was happening there. Well, the good thing about having bases loaded with one out as opposed to runners only at second and third is there is a possibility of drawing a double play ball and keeping the score at 1-0. And the first pitch is called a ball. But Fiducia, the catcher, decides to challenge, and the challenge is successful. Good timing, Hunter. Good timing. Now Snell starts ahead in the count again. And he's facing the four-hitter Dingler, who's 1 for 1 already today with a single. The next pitch jams him up inside. Now the count's 0-2. Dingler was a 2025 Gold Glove winner. And the next pitch misses high and a little bit inside. That's 1-2. Snell pulls out, as you can see in his left hand, his little scouting card, tucks it back in his pocket. Now he's going to touch his belt line and signal to the catcher what it is that he wants to throw. And that one is high. It swung on and missed. So the fourth strikeout, I believe, now for Blake Snell. With 2 out, still has bases loaded. And he's going to face number 32, Eduardo Valencia. Valencia's 0 for 1 today. He's batting .329. And this pitch is a big curveball, just clips the bottom of the strike zone. And the count is 0-1. Another silver lining, if there is one, to the bases being loaded is Snell doesn't have somebody on first that can steal, because he's not very good, ironically, as a left-hander, holding the runner at first. That one misses high and inside. So the count's 1-1 to Valencia. Next pitch from Snell, right on the corner. Perfect placement. And the count's 1-2. And Snell's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with relatively minimal damage. Steps off the back of the mound, picks up the rosin bag. Tries to deliver the last pitch of the inning. Pitch is on the way, and it was right in there, but fouled off by Valencia. Well, Snell challenging him there. This is by far the most pitches that Snell has thrown so far. 24 pitches in this inning. Next pitch. Oh boy, bounces in front of the plate, and Hunter Fiducia does a great job moving his body and blocking the ball with his chest protector so it doesn't go to the backstop and give up at least 1 run. Outstanding job, Hunter. The Hunter's done a couple of key things this inning. One, challenging a ball called, and the successful challenge overturned it to a strike, and now even bigger, preventing a run from coming home on a wild pitch. That one's inside and fouled off by Valencia, so the at-bat continues. The next pitch is a fastball up high, and he gets him to chase for strike 3. Huge clutch performance by the pitcher and the catcher, and the Dodgers give up 1 run, but it could have been much worse, much worse. But needless to say, the Detroit Tigers strike first, and the Dodgers find themselves behind. We'll see how they respond shortly. All right, so Mookie Betts getting ready to face Montero again. And the Dodgers scoreless. And if you're enjoying LA Press Box, welcome. Join us by hitting that subscribe button. We are a new channel, and we are looking to bring people together, not just LA sports fans, but people that are for the other team that are looking for another way to connect with their teams. And in the next week, we are going to already start to expand. And in addition to Dodgers baseball, we'll be bringing you Los Angeles football teams. So the Rams, the Chargers, and UCLA. First pitch is in there for a strike. And appreciate it if you hit the like button. Tell the algorithm that we are worth showing to people. And that one is fly to shallow left center by Mookie, and it'll be the first out of the inning already. They're not pushing these at bats very far. Dodgers have to make these pitchers go deeper into the count. I'm not saying, foul balls off just to foul them off. I don't know that you can even do that necessarily on purpose, but you're going to swing early in the at bat. Really make it count. And be looking for your pitch. So now the 4-hitter, Max Muncy, comes up. And this pitch is inside. Next one misses low, and the count's 1-1. Muncy's batting an even .250 on the season. And the last time I looked, I think he has 26 home runs. He has the highest slugging percentage of all the Dodgers. In fact, top 20 in the league, as he fouls that one off to the right of first base. One and two count to Muncy. Montero's got this interesting delivery where he kind of twists towards home plate, then twists back as he loads up his throwing arm and then finally throws it home. Two-two pitch on the way from Montero to Muncy. And swung on, grounded to first, picked up by Torkelson, who then underhands it to the pitcher, and 2 away. That'll bring up Tommy Edman. Dodgers have already had 2 outs and nobody on. All 4 innings today. Exact opposite of what you'd want to see as a Dodger fan. And Edman's 0 for 1, batting .265. Switch hitters batting from the left side of the plate because he's facing right-handed thrower. And he's better from the left side of the plate than he is the right. I think on the left side he's batting about .280, and on the other side he's batting about .220. That one's way outside, and it's a ball. And this one is grounded to the left of second base. McGonagall's able to get it and throw to first on the run for the 3rd out. And another 1-2-3 by the Dodgers to go down quietly. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, and the Dodgers still scoreless. Detroit leads with 1. So Blake Snell goes back to the mound with 5 strikeouts so far, given up a run in the last inning, but avoided much bigger potential damage by ending the inning with a strikeout while bases were loaded around him. He's threw 27 pitches in the last inning. He's only given up 2 hits today. Meanwhile, Montero for the Tigers has yet to throw more than 11 pitches in a single inning. So the 6-hitter Torkelson comes up, and he's 0 for 1 against Snell today, batting .221. And that one's chopped foul to the left. And Torkelson fouls that one back and out of play, and the count is 1-2. And so my educated guess from last inning about what Snell ran off the field for was in the ballpark. It was an equipment change, but it wasn't his glove, it was his cleats. So if you weren't with us quite at that moment, Snell went to the umpire, and said, "Hey, can I have time?" And of course told him he was going to change his cleats, I'm sure. Went down into the dugout. Nobody looked alarmed, but they had a quizzical look. And then he changed his shoes, came back, and that's how he is. And of course, when you have baseball players playing, they have these spikes in the bottom of their shoes that are designed to give them better traction. They're an amateur watching baseball. But those spikes, those cleats, wear down over time. So it's possible that he finally just felt like, man, this is not getting good enough grip, both pushing off of the rubber on the mound and making good, solid contact with the ground, is that front foot plants right before the pitcher delivers the ball home. And what I do remember from last inning is that he was looking down quite a bit at the front of the mound and wondering, like, whether or not something with the dirt needed to be adjusted. So he must have felt like he was slipping. And I bet if you go back and look really closely, you zoom in, watch it in slow motion, you might see his right foot gliding slightly once it makes contact with the ground in the front of the mound. Whatever he did is working. Not only did it get him out of that bind, but he's already retired the first hitter for this inning. And what's interesting is just before that, unlike the way he started the game, he started to get behind in the count. He had a walk, and he had a couple of batters where he started him with a ball. That's not how the game started. That's also not how the game has continued since he switched his shoes. With one out, Malgeri's got a 2-2 count, and the next pitch bounces in front of the plate. He's had a few of those today, Blake Snell has. And now, on the verge of walking Malgeri. Two-two pitch, outside. Now the count's full. And the next pitch, strike three. Malgeri goes down looking. And if he had challenged, he might have been correct. He chooses not to. He kind of had a thought about it. His hand came up from his waist about halfway up to his head, and then he thought twice about it and chose not to challenge. And now Snell's got two away and looking a lot more like he started the game. Once again, starts a batter, in this case Baez, with a strike, 0-1. And Baez swings and chops that one foul, and the count's 0-2. Baez walked his first time up. And that one's inside, so the count's 1-2. Snell has now thrown 72 pitches, as that one was right on the top edge of the strike zone, fouled back. So the 1-2 pitch on the way from Snell to Baez. And it's low and gets him to chase. Wow. Snell is just... he's the best pitcher, I think, that the Dodgers have right now in their starting lineup. Guys, he's only been to the mound 4 times. He has 8 strikeouts. 8 strikeouts already. Now, I can't remember if it was Snell or Skubal. I think it was Snell the last time he pitched. We had a little bet in the chat about how many strikeouts he was going to throw. And I thought it was going to be, I think I guessed 10. I think Alaska guessed 9. It was below that. But he still pitched a gem. So if you want to halfway cheat and say how many strikeouts he's going to end up with, I mean, there's still a couple of innings the way he's going that he's going to be pitching. But he's already at 8. And if you're joining us from LA, consider this a public service announcement. You, tomorrow, can get a free jumbo jack because that's the deal. Every time the Dodgers have 7 strikeouts in a game by their pitching staff, not by their batters, by their pitching staff, get a free jumbo jack. I, unfortunately, cannot take advantage of that offer because I no longer live in Los Angeles. Lived there for decades. But then said, I'm going to go to San Diego, in part because of the heat. However, last week I look up and more than once in San Diego, it was over 100 degrees. Shows you what I know. Looks like the forecast is showing the heat wave breaking as of today. We'll get back to being spoiled in late August, early September with upper 80s as the highs for the upcoming week. So Dodgers go back to bat to face Peter Montero, who hasn't thrown more than 11 pitches in an inning yet. So he's going to face Kyle Tucker, who once again swings at the first pitch, and this is going to be caught in foul territory right before the left fielder runs into the fence. So 1 pitch, 1 out. The exact opposite of what the Dodgers need to be doing right now. So now Teo comes up. In the 7th spot today, he's 0 for 1, batting .247. Looks at the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Next pitch. In there and fouled back and out of play. And Teoscar Hernandez is down in the count, 0-2. .02 pitch on the way from Montero. And the exact pitch that makes Teo look silly. Curveball or a slider. Have it start down the middle, trail outside. That's the recipe to get him to swing out, swing and miss. The 2 strikeouts for Teo. And Montero's not even working hard right now. With the Dodgers out in the clubs, is a good club scene in Detroit? If you're a Detroit fan, let me know. Type in the chat what the nightlife is like in Detroit. Hunter Fiducia comes up, who's 0 for 1. He looks at the first pitch high for ball 1. Two outs, nobody on. And the next pitch, right on the corner for strike 1, and the count's 1-1. Dodgers only have 1 hit on the day, and it was a bloop by Shohei. Just got in there in the shallow left center. Counts 2-1 to Fiducia. And he fouls that one back off for the second strike. Infield shifted way over for Fiducia. The shortstop pretty much right behind the pitcher, close to second base. And this one is chopped to the right of second base. McGonigal picks it up, throws to first, way in time. The Dodgers go down quietly once again. And we go to the bottom of the fifth, and it's the Dodgers still scoreless. Detroit leading with 1. So Blake Snell, after changing his shoes, well in command again. Only given up 1 run today. And he's already got 8 strikeouts. Gotta face Max Clark to begin this inning. Dodgers have been unbeaten since Snell came off the injured list. On for 3 months. But has said more than once that since his surgery is the best he's felt in years. 9-hitter Clark sacrificed earlier in the day. And that pitch misses just a touch inside for ball 1. And the next pitch in there, swung on and missed for strike 1. Max Clark is ranked number 1 as far as Detroit prospects. He's only 21. Little slight. Little fella. And that one misses low for ball 2. Next one on the way. And Clark with a good eye lets that one just miss inside for ball 3. And the pitch from Snell is lined into left. And it's a ways to go for Teoscar, and he's going to go to second, and he's going to slide head first after his helmet comes off to reveal the long locks of golden hair in the wind held in place by the headband, and he is safe with a hustle double. Boy, he was booking it right from the very beginning. Great hustle by Max Clark. That's his 4th double. So you can see a little glimpse there of why he's so coveted by Detroit. And a guy with speed like that can make good contact and get extra bases, is actually well placed in the lineup at number 9 if he can do that consistently. because then you go right to the top of the lineup and somebody like Torres can drive him in. Torres is already 1 for 2 today with a double and an RBI. So Snell gives up a double to start this inning. Nobody out and a runner at second. And that one's fouled back and out of play. So the count 1-2. Because Snell struggled a little bit last inning, not just giving up a run, but also having bases loaded. The Dodgers are a little bit up against it right now because his pitch count is into the 80s, and it's only the 5th inning. And what you don't want Snell to do is have to get pulled early because of his pitch count and then hand it over to the middle relievers in a close game where the Dodgers offense is just not being productive. So the count now is 2-2 to Torres. And the next pitch, a big curveball, but it misses low and inside. Now the count's full. Clark's got a pretty good lead at second. And Snell walks off the mound, chases him back. Oh, and a beautiful breaking ball with full count to Torres gets him swinging and missing for the 9th strikeout for Blake Snell today. Beautiful. Perfectly placed. If he didn't try to swing at that, it would have been called strike 3. So Snell punches out another Tiger. And now he's going to face the 2-hitter Lee, who's 0 for 2 today. And this one is swung on early, and it's popped up foul to the right, and Freddie Freeman is going to make the catch. And the runner is held at second. Boy, so Snell's done that to Lee a couple of times today. In fact, in addition to all the strikeouts that Snell has registered, he's had a bunch of Tiger hitters just flop the ball with no threat at all to dropping to the right, jamming them on the skinny part of the bat near their hands. And now with a runner at second, there's 2 outs. And the first pitch catches the upper outside corner of the strike zone, and the count's 0-1. Next pitch is low. And the 3-hitter, McGonigal's 0 for 1 today, as he faces an even count. The 1-1 pitch on the way from Snell. This is low for ball 2. And Snell about to throw his 90th pitch of the day. And the next pitch, called for strike two. Actually looked like it just missed. In fact, if we go over here and rotate, you can see it. But I'd like for you guys to be able to see the name of the batter that's up. That definitely misses outside and low. And now the count's full. So 2 outs, runner at second, and a 3-2 count. And the payoff pitch is high for ball 4. So another walk from Snell. And now he's thrown 92 pitches. And the pitching coach is coming out. And usually the second time means you're done. But that does not look to be the case in this situation. Looks like they're going to keep Blake Snell in the game to face Dingler. And with that walk and runners at first and second, the Dodgers have a force out at any base but home. And this just ends up being a strategy talk on the mound. The umpire says, let's get back to work. So Dylan Dingler is 1 for 2 today. He has a single. And he's batting .253 on the season in the cleanup spot today. Single was a bloop hit, but still counts. Hard to get hits in the majors. The lefty on righty. And the first pitch, big sweeper that catches Dingler inside, swinging and missing for strike 1. Next pitch on the way. Fastball inside. Good placement by Blake Snell, 96 miles an hour, and Dingler fouls it off. Now, Blake Snell's 1 strike away from ending this inning. Snell touches his belt, signals to the catcher using the communication system what he's going to throw. It ends up being a fastball, 97 miles an hour. Fouled back. Oh-2 pitch on the way from Snell. And misses low and bounces. Boy, Hunter Fiduci's had to work hard tonight. I think there's been at least 5 pitches that have bounced in the dirt. Most of them with runners on base. And he's blocked them all. That's huge. Having played catcher, I don't take that lightly. That is not an easy job. So the 1-2 pitch, low. Fiducia catches it, and now the count's 2-2. Over here so we can see the strike zone a little bit better. Now that we all know that it's Dingler up there. And that one, Dingler just gets a piece of and stays alive at 2-2. Umpire's going to clean off the plate. Snell gave up a leadoff double to start this inning. Great hustle by Max Clark to get in there. And he gets Dingler to swing and miss at a pitch just outside for his 10th strikeout. 5 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts per inning. And Snell, another gem. Unfortunately now, he's in the 90s as far as the pitch count goes, so I don't know if he's going to come out for the 6th. And if he doesn't, he's going to have to turn the ball over to middle relievers who have been better lately, but not necessarily as effective as Blake Snell, who, in my opinion, is the best starting pitcher for the Dodgers right now. So, at the end of 5, Snell gets out of a little bit of a jam after giving up a leadoff double, and the Dodgers still scoreless with only 1 hit set to come up. Come on, Dodgers, let's go. If you haven't voted in our poll question yet, here are the options so far. Actually, we've had a couple of votes for extra innings. The only votes we've had so far is extra innings. But the question at this point is, will the Dodgers come back? Will they go to extra innings, or will the opponent win? I mean, it's still possible for the Dodgers to take the lead because we're in the second half of the game. We're just getting that underway, and then hold on. Put in the chat a number 1 if you think the Dodgers are going to come back to win. Type a 2 in the chat if you think the Dodgers are going to hold on. 3 for extra innings. And 4 if you think the Tigers are going to win. So the Dodgers with only 1 hit, set to go back to work. And now Thomas comes up. And he swings at the first pitch, but this one looks like it's going to curl and get away from the left fielder. It drops, it bounces against the wall, and Thomas with a leadoff double. Oh, I love that part of the 3D where you can see the track of the ball in the air. And you can see how it curls, especially if you're in left field, hit by a left-hander. And now Ohtani comes up, who's done pretty much nothing for the Dodgers in the last couple of days. I mean, he's the one person who has a hit today, so I give him credit for that. But, I mean, it was a bloop, weak contact. It just happened to drop in the right place, the right time. But, I mean, nothing that you would expect from Shohei Ohtani as far as being a difference maker. He's 1 for 2 today, and he's batting .284. And the early count to him is 1-1. Montero has really made quick work of the Dodgers all day. And Shohei looks at a fastball right down the pipe. 1-2. And it was only like 94, 95 miles an hour. Now, of course, that's super fast for you or me, but for Shohei Ohtani, he can turn on that no problem. Yeah, thank you. Let's go Dodgers. Thank you, Sandy. This one is chopped to shortstop and thrown to first in time. But there's some debate about whether Shohei beat that throw with his speed. And they're going to say that his foot, look at the replay, I agree with this. His foot was over the bag, but it had not touched the bag when the ball landed in the first baseman's glove. So 1 away. But Freddie Freeman comes up with a runner at third now because Shohei moved him along. And the Dodgers hoping Freeman can get another crucial RBI like he did last night. And he put the Dodgers ahead 2-1, and that was it. So the pitch to Freddie. He just throws his bat out there, and he's able to make contact and get a hit and do the job again. Freddie Freeman with a clutch hit and RBI to tie up the game and bring home Alec Thomas, actually, I believe. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you. So now we're tied. Alec Thomas comes home after the leadoff double. And Mookie Betts batting third comes up, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flied out. And neither one of them look good. Only batting .238. First pitch misses just high for ball 1. Next one well high for ball 2. Let's go Dodgers. Put some ones in the chat. Get the mojo going. Looks like Kike Hernandez might be warming up for a pinch hit opportunity again, like he cashed in on yesterday. Or hit that love button, hit that heart. I don't know if I believe in the mojo and in the good vibes. I mean, there's no question good energy goes a long way in this world, but whatever it takes to get the Dodgers a lead. And Mookie swings and fouls that one back and out of play to the right. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. See if it works. So 2-2. Runner first. And this one is lined to third, and it's off the glove of the third baseman, and then it rolls up against the fence to the left. Sandy did it. That was a Sandy juju. Good job. Literally typed a 1 in the chat, and then right after that, Mookie Betts gets a good hold of it. Lee could have made that catch, but instead it bounces off his glove. Okay, I'm a believer now. I'm a believer. The karma, the mojo, the juju, whatever you want to call it, it worked. And Montero looks like he's finally done after an outstanding outing against the Dodgers. But now that they've tied it up, with only 1 out, the Dodgers have runners at first and second. And we're going to go to our command center and get a jump on seeing who the next person's going to be. I'm going to take myself out for a second. Tyler Holton. Okay. Let's check him out. So, Tyler Holton. Let's see here, I gotta zoom in. Got an ERA of 3.03, a whip of 1.28, so meh. Win-loss record of 1-5. Worse than meh. And does not look like anything special, which is honestly what you'd expect from a 4th-place team in their division in the Detroit Tigers. So golden opportunity and a great job by the Dodgers to get Montero out of the game, because he has given them fits. They only had 1 hit coming into this inning. So the Dodgers have tied the game at 1, and now Max Muncy is set to come up. And this is kind of Max Muncy time. You know, when I think of Max Muncy making a difference in games and being the most productive, hitting with power, hitting to the corner of right field, it's usually 6th, 7th inning. It's prime time for him. He's facing Tyler Holton, who's pitched in 58 games, and his opponent average is 267, so that is not great either. So Freeman at second, Betts at first, and that one's high for a ball. And the count's 2-0 to Muncie early. Next pitch. Way inside. Muncie jumped back a little bit. Might have hit him if he hadn't moved. And the next pitch just misses. Muncie wasn't sure, but the umpire says ball 4. So Holton comes in and throws 4 straight balls and now loads the bases with only 1 out. And they're already having a conference as he's about to face Tommy Edman. Pitching coach comes out and the catcher. See if we can pick up what they're saying. Hey, bro, you know you're getting paid a lot, right? You know you should be like throwing strikes and stuff. He sinks down to the depths of hell. Then pops back up. And it looks like they're going to keep him in there. Please, please, Tommy Edman, don't hit into a double play. The Dodgers lead the league in grounding into double plays. Just hit one deep enough for the man at third to be able to tag and come home. I used to say Freddie Freeman was not a steal threat or much of a threat on the bases, but I'm wrong. Is he one of the speediest Dodgers? No. But those long strides are a little deceptive. Edman looks at the first pitch for a strike, and the next one's outside. So the count's 1-1 to Edman. With bases loaded and only 1 out. Edman has hit home runs this year. I think he's got 5 on the year. And this one is grounded to shortstop. Oh boy, this could be trouble for the Dodgers. They're able to shovel it to second and get 1, and then turn it to first for another double play. So with bases loaded and 1 out, Tommy Edman just wastes the opportunity. And I love Tommy, but we're going to be real. Fortunately, though, we tie the game up, and now it's, who knows? We've had some votes for it going into extra innings. And we're still a ways away from seeing whether that's the case. But the Dodgers finally get on the board. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's the Dodgers 1 and the Tigers 1. I know, Big Din. I mean, really? You can't, like, Swing under the ball. Yeah, millionth freaking double play is right. Swing under the ball, get it in the outfield, and give us a chance to tag up at least. So Halverson comes in after an outstanding job by Blake Snell, who hands the ball off after getting into, I think 92, 93 pitches. And he's going to face Valencia with a tie game. And this one is chopped to shortstop. Mookie Betts picks it up, no problem. Has to go nowhere to do so. Throws to first for the first out of the inning. You know, and that pitch was a cutter to the heart of the plate to Tommy Edman. And he just completely blew the opportunity. And Detroit's going to pinch hit Colt Keith. Inserting him into the 6th spot, and he is batting .263 with 9 home runs. And that pitch just missed inside for ball 1. Nice pitch on the way from Halverson to Keith. And misses just low and inside, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. See the track here. And the next pitch, 99 miles an hour, but the fastball is just that, a ball, 3-0. Halverson's got an interesting follow-through. After he delivers to home plate, the other knee comes all the way around and high. You can see him kick across his body with his right leg. And finally gets one in the strike zone. Watch his right leg whip around like he's trying to kick somebody. This one is swung on by Keith, and it goes to Freddie Freeman. Picks it up, steps on the bag for the second out. So Zach McKinstry going to get a chance as another pinch hitter for the Tigers. Is batting .216. And he played 3 seasons with the Dodgers from 2020 to 2022. McKinstry has 4 home runs on the year. And he's slotted into the 7th spot. So 2 outs. And McKinstry gets hit. That one was inside and into the dirt, but just made contact with his big toe. And so technically, since he's hit, he takes first. Oh, McKinstry's stealing, and Padusha had no chance. Halverson wasn't even looking over there as a pitcher. Come on, man. First things first. Be a professional. Do the small things right. And something you have to know. I know Halverson hasn't played a whole lot, but regardless, you got to be ready for your opportunity. You got to be ready, and you have to know in part that you have 2 fill-in catchers taking turns every day until Will Smith comes back, and neither one of them has a particularly strong arm, so people are going to test them. Now they have a runner in scoring position. This one is chopped to shortstop. Fortunately, Mookie Betts is in a great spot for it. Comes right to him, charges it, picks it up, throws to first for the last out of the inning. And Tigers are not able to add to their lead. And so now at the end of 6, the score is tied. LA 1, Detroit 1. So Andrew Sears for the Detroit Tigers set to face Kyle Tucker, who's been one of the few batters for the Dodgers the last couple of days at least. It's been a little more disciplined. And what I mean is he's been able to draw some walks. He drew 2 walks yesterday, 1 today. But yeah, like you wrote in the chat, I mean, these guys are getting paid so much money. I can't remember exactly what the contract is, and I'm sure there's incentives built in, but I think Kyle Tucker signed a contract worth maybe $200 million. So they didn't agree to pay him all that money to draw walks and to bat 229. And his batting average at home is like maybe 200. So Tucker's facing Andrew Sears. Big man, 6'3", about 200 pounds. And starts him with a ball. Then, I'm not sure exactly what the ruling was on the second pitch. Almost like too quick. I don't know if the rule is as far as like letting the batter get set. So they're going to redo this one. And Tucker swings, and listen to some of you because he hits that one to the opposite field and has it land inside of the foul line for a double. He's got a stand-up double to start this inning. Yeah, went the other way, Tucker. Had a baby. So another leadoff double, 2 innings in a row where the Dodgers start with a double. Last inning was Alec Thomas. And now Teoscar Hernandez, who struck out looking silly last inning, or at least his last at bat. He's 0 for 2 today. And he's batting .246. Only has 11 home runs on the year. And that one's fouled back, and he's already in a hole. 0-2. This one's way inside. And why do you move your foot? You're a big, strong man, Teo. Let it hit you in the leg and get on base. If it's at the shoulders or up, of course, do everything you can, get out of the way. But dude, old cliche, take one for the team, dude. And now he hits this one. No danger whatsoever. flies it out to center field and 1 away. So now Kike Hernandez is going to pinch hit. And thanks to Kike coming in around the same time last night in the game, the Dodgers were able to tie it. Came off the bench and then singled to right. And then Miguel Rojas came in after that and was able to single. Second pinch hitter with a single in the same inning. Get the Dodgers on the board. Very similar feeling today. Very anemic offensive production by the Dodgers. And I love Kike. I love his attitude. He's only batting .231 in the season. He's missed a lot of time due to injury. And he's got 2 home runs this year, 5 RBI. And it looks like Rojas is also going to get inserted just like last night. He's on deck. With how weak our offensive production is, I don't understand why Rojas doesn't play more often. He's got one of the highest batting averages on the team. He's really good under pressure and in the clutch. He showed it yet again last night. And as Kike swings and misses at that one, and he's got a 1-1 count. And you can put Rojas at second, and then you can put Tommy Edman somewhere in the outfield. Because he can run. I mean, he's got a brand new wheel thanks to his surgery in his rehab, basically. And Kike misses that one too, and the count's 1-2. I can't remember the last time I saw the Dodgers bunt. And I'm not a proponent for them bunting right at this moment, but sometimes you got to do some old school stuff, or even unorthodox for you. Put a little juice back in the lineup. That one misses inside, and the count's even at 2-2. Sears delivers to Kike. Oh, and the ball was way out. Oh, Kike. That was a pitch a foot outside. He wasn't able to hold up. And his check swing broke the plane at first base. And it's strike 3. So here comes Miguel Rojas, who's batting .278 in 85 games. There might only be, what, 2? I think, let's see. Shohei's got a higher batting average. And Freddie. And I think that's it. Those are the only 2 other guys with a higher batting average than Miguel Rojas. He's hit 3 home runs this year. 19 RBI. Now, Rojas is batting .314 against lefties. Much better against lefties than he is righties. And that's usually the case for most batters, because they can see the ball coming out of the other guy's hand a lot better if he's flipped the opposite direction. Just easier line of vision than if the guy's pitching with the same arm that you're hitting with. So the 1-1 pitch, well inside. Rojas hops back just a little bit. And now the count's 2-1. So the next pitch from Sears, a slider, and Rojas swings over top. Now the count's 2-2. So the Dodgers on the verge of wasting another leadoff double, in this case from Kyle Tucker. Ohtani on deck. 2-2 count with 2 outs. And the next pitch way outside, and that makes the count full. And this one is swung on and popped to right center. It looks like it's going to be playable. McKinstry is able to get there and make the catch just before the foul line. And a leadoff double by the Dodgers, by Kyle Tucker in this case, is wasted. And the score remains tied. And we go to the 7th inning stretch with the score LA 1, Detroit 1. All right, the Dodgers are next going to hand the ball to Alex Vesia, the man with the 6-inch beard, who I don't think has cut it in the last year. And he's going to face Max Clark, who did a really nice job the last time he was up. Lined the ball to left field and was able to beat Teoscar's throw to second base with a head-first slide after his helmet came flying off. And the Dodgers do what they did last night in terms of substitutions with those 2 pinch hitters. Kike Hernandez last night and today goes to center field. And that means Alec Thomas is done there. Miguel Rojas does not get inserted into the defensive lineup. He came in place of Fiducia. And so now the Dodgers instead substitute Ben Rortvedt behind the plate. So little guy Max Clark comes up again. He's 1 for 1. Sacrifice bunt, although Max Muncy flubbed it. And a double. Clark's batting .253 on the year. Top prospect for Detroit. I think he's only 21. And he fouls that one back and out of play. So the 1-1 count, nobody out. And this one is chopped over to Freddie Freeman. He backs up and gets it. And instead of trying to sprint to first base, he thinks better of it and shovels it to Vesia for the first out. Vesia shaking his head up and down. Okay, let's go. So Torres comes up, who already has 3 hits this series. He has 1 today. He's 1 for 3 in batting .262 this season. And he swings at the first pitch inside and chops it foul to the left of third base. Next pitch on the way from Vesia to Torres. And it's low, but a check swing. And the catcher, Ben Rortvet, points to the first base umpire and says, "Did he go?" And he says no. So the count's 1-1. So Torres steps out. He's the top of the batting order. Calls a quick timeout, comes back. Vesia toes the rubber and gets ready to deliver the next pitch. And this one is swung on and fly to right. Tucker coming up and to his left and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Dodgers 1, Tigers 1. Now the number 2 hitter, Lee, comes up. Born in Taiwan. And one of the most unusual things that I've ever seen in baseball has happened today to Lee. All 3 of his first at-bats, he's 0 for 3 today, he has popped up foul to the right side, and Freddie Freeman has caught those pop-ups for outs. 3 times he's popped foul to the right of first base, and Freddie Freeman's caught the ball. It's like Groundhog Day for this guy right now. He's going, oh my gosh, please, anything but that. And that one's in there for a strike. So the count to Lee early from Vesia is 2-1. Lee is batting .265, swings at that one, protecting the plate, and chops it foul to the left of third, where Max Muncy can't get to it. And the next pitch is smacked into quite a large hole between first base and second base. And he gets his first hit of the day. So with 2 outs, Detroit has a runner on. And now the shortstop, number 7, McGonagall's coming up. McGonagall's 0 for 1. And he's batting .275. Vesia throws to first. And Lee gets back. See if there's much of a lead. Oh, there's no lead over there. Guy's like halfway to the cut. But I didn't see the first time. Maybe Vesia throwing over there was a little bit of a deterrent. But Lee's only stolen 1 base. I think he's 1 for 3 in 90 games. So at this point, does not look like a steal threat, especially based on his meager lead over there. And Vesia delivers the next pitch squarely into the strike zone. So now the count's 1-1. Pitch, fastball inside, and McGonigal turns away, and it just narrowly misses him. Now the count's 2-1. Next pitch from Vesia is a slider in there for a strike, 88 miles an hour. Now the count's 2-2. And the pitch, and Lee is stealing. They know something when the pitchers for both teams throw over. There's something I got to figure this out. Something in the scouting report tells them that they're inclined to try to steal. That has to be why Vesia threw over to begin with. And despite having a meager lead until that point, I stopped spinning the camera to take a look. Lee's able to steal on the catcher Ben Rortvedt and a lefty, which is crazy because lefties are literally staring at first base before they deliver home. So now the Tigers have somebody in scoring position. Full count pitch to McGonigal is grounded to Freddie Freeman. He picks it up and he does his own work by stepping on the bag. And so the runner in scoring position is wasted by Detroit. And at the end of 7, the score is Dodgers 1 and the Tigers 1. You want to come up? All right, top of the 8th, and here comes Shohei Ohtani. Dodgers have 5 hits on the day so far. Detroit has 4. And Ohtani has one of those hits. He's 1 for 3. Loop single into left. And he swings and misses at that one. Pulls completely out of the batter's box. That one is grounded foul to the right of first base, and the count's 0-2 to Ohtani, and he asks for time. And this one is, it's just flirted to first base. That pitch was outside. As you can see, all those pitches were outside. And his body's completely leaning to right. It's leaning to first base instead of stepping into the ball and driving it the opposite direction, which of course we know he can do. I mean, he's hit a nice number of home runs to left center. Not that he has to hit a home run to be productive, but that's just bad fundamentals. And so now Freddie Freeman comes up, who's 1 for 3, in the midst of his longest home run drought of his career. "44 games without a home run. Now he's hitting well over 300. He's hitting 312. But the Dodgers really need that power too. That's that one, and the count's 2-2. And that one, Freddie barely catches up to, fouls it back. We'll swing this camera around, a cleaner look at where the ball's landing. Well, that one lands in way in front of home plate. Wow, barely made it to the grass before it bounced. So Freddie has pushed the count to full. It's 3-2. One out, nobody on. And the pitch to Freeman. It is chopped to the right of second base, and McGonigal crosses over as a shortstop, charges it, and makes the throw to first for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Mookie Betts. And with 2 outs, Edgardo Enriquez is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. A pitch misses just high. Mookie's 1 for 3 today. That one's way outside. Now the count's 2-0. Mookie's batting an even .240 on the season. This one catches the bottom of the strike zone, 2-1. One's inside, the count's 3-1. I like how quickly Sears works. I think most baseball fans don't want to see pitchers take a ton of time. That one's in there for a strike. This is, of course, why they instituted the pitch clock a couple of years ago. And the payoff pitch swung on and flied high and shallow by Mookie Betts. Kinstry comes in and makes the catch for the third out. So we go to the bottom of the 8th now. We are still tied 1-1. Joining us for the first time, welcome. We are a new channel. Go ahead and join LA Press Box by subscribing. We'd appreciate that. We'll give you a chance to track us down again later. And if you give us a like, that too will help us be visible by the algorithm. Designed to give LA sports fans a chance to connect, as they've been doing today. And we're going to be expanding to football shortly. We are just around the corner from football season, everybody. So in addition to the Dodgers, we'll be doing the Rams, Chargers, and UCLA. So the Dodgers hand the baton off now to Edgardo Enriquez. And so far, so good from the pitching standpoint. Needless to say, it's the meek batting production by the Dodgers now for, gosh, I guess it's 4 games in a row. Reason for why this one's close. And before we even started, we said chances are it was going to be a 1-run game. And if you like close games, this is another game for you. I think, in fact, just during this month of August, the Dodgers have had 17 one-run games. 17 games where the outcome has been decided by that single run. Riquez is a fun pitcher to watch because he regularly throws fastballs over 100 miles an hour. He's going to start by facing the four-hitter Dingler, who's 1 for 3 today with a single. Dingler's batting .252 on the season. The first pitch misses, but it was a sinker at 102 miles an hour. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. That was a fastball, but the same speed. 102. You can see the difference in the arcs between the two pitches right here if you look at the 3D trail. In fact, I'm going to spin it over here so you can see the arc a little bit better. The next pitch is also a fastball. Check swing and makes contact with the bat for strike 2. And another 102 miles an hour. So 3 pitches, 306 miles an hour. 1-2 pitch on the way. And misses high for ball 2. Pitch on the way, and it's a slider well outside. Now the count's full. At this point in the game, you can't afford to walk a guy, especially the leadoff hitter. Now Ben Rortvedt's going to run out and give a little talk to Enriquez. Full count. Nobody out, nobody on. And we're set to get back underway. And that one is a called strike 3. It's going to be challenged, but it was a 104-mile-an-hour fastball. Woo! That is some flame throwing. And Enriquez turns away like he just stroked a 3-pointer from the middle of the court, like he knew it was in there. Wow, 104. That was absolute fire. So now he's going to face Valencia, the 5-hitter, who's 0 for 3. And he's batting .320 on the season. First one's in there. Fouled back for a strike. Holy. You know, I don't really care very much if you throw super hard. You don't have good control, but I mean, he's got good enough control to be effective. And he's shown that throughout the season. And the early count to Valencia is 1-1. And the slider, only at 85, way high, misses for ball 2. Nobody out, 1 on. Excuse me, 1 out, nobody on. And a slider at 94 is popped foul. Muncy's coming in, Rortvet's going back. And it ends up being Muncy catching it for the second out of the inning. And now Keith comes up. He's 0 for 1. Inserted into the sixth spot as a pinch hitter. And Colt Keith grounded out his one time up so far today. Batting .262 and looks at the first pitch for a strike. And another 104-mile-an-hour fastball. Just something to observe. I remember when Nolan Ryan would throw 100 miles an hour, and it was news. Just the fact that he was getting to that speed when we were young. And the 1-1 pitch gets Keith to swing and miss at a breaking ball. And that's really, when you establish the fastball with some control and it's over 100 miles an hour, that really sets the batter up for breaking balls that slow down. So 2 outs and 2 strikes on Keith. This one's way inside, and it hits him. Ugh. So I was praising Enriquez about his control, relatively speaking, and one gets away from him. Now Detroit has the go-ahead run on first base with Zach McKinstry coming up, the former Dodger. McKinstry's been hit by a pitch. And I know there's 2 outs, but I would not be surprised if they try to steal on Ben Rortvet. I would steal on either one of the current Dodger catchers on a regular basis. And I would have done the same thing with Dalton Rushing before he got hurt. I was way inside, but McKinstry helped out Enriquez by swinging and fouling it off to the right. So 0-1 pitch with 2 outs. On the way from Enriquez. And the cutter gets him to swing and miss. It was way ahead of it because it's 94 miles an hour and you're looking for 102, 103, maybe even 104. So the count's 0-2. Enriquez takes a little glance over his shoulder at first, delivers home, and puts it in there, but McKinstry fouls it off and stays alive. This is about the time when Lee tried to steal, and he was successful. This runner at first is going. They looked like they had a little bit of a hit and run going. He was not to the cut of the grass. McKinstry fouls it off. And so whatever that threat was averted. And this one is swung on, and it is flied in a difficult place to get to. But Teoscar Hernandez comes up from left field and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Good communication between he and Max Muncy. And the Detroit Tigers are not able to add to their 1-run total. Now we've finished 8 full innings. And those of you that voted for extra innings might be right. We'll see. This is what I actually picked as well. I put a 3 in the chat to begin the broadcast. But at the end of 8, we're tied 1-1. And it looks right now like Sears is going to come back in. Why not? I mean, the Dodgers haven't given him any trouble, really. Well, they've given him a little bit. They've had a couple of leadoff doubles, including last inning, but just not able to do anything with it. Boy, it's sad when I'm not looking forward to Shohei Ohtani coming up. I have my Shohei Ohtani shirt on. Only shirt I've ever bought, or a jersey for that matter, with a player's name on the back. But he does not look good right now. Even on the base hit that he had. Did not look good. He looks out of sorts. It's not even necessarily like one thing. I mean, he does lean when he's struggling to first base. And he's shown that tendency as well today. But Max Muncy comes up. And for whatever it's worth, Max Muncy leads baseball with go-ahead home runs at 6. Late in the game is when Max Muncy is usually the best. Now, he's in the cleanup spot, and he's 0 for 2 today. And before we began this broadcast, showed that he is top 20 in slugging percentage. So no question he's got power, and that's one of the reasons that he's batting 4th. Fouls that one off, and counts 1-2. And this one is swung on and popped high, and it's almost directly behind second base. And McGonigal goes back and makes the catch instead of the center fielder for the first out. So now Tommy Edman comes up. And he's going to switch to the other side of the plate so you can see the ball coming out of the lefty Sears' hand. But Tommy Edman swings and fouls that one back and had a big opportunity earlier in the game. Bases loaded. 1 out. And he grounded into a double play. And that one swung on and lined into left field. So he gets a base hit. All right, Tommy. Got a baby. Batting from the right side of the plate is not his strength either. So way to fight through. Now Kyle Tucker comes up with 1 out, 1 on. Tucker in the 6th spot. And he's 1 for 2 today. Drew a walk. Drew 2 walks yesterday. And he has a double. And it was right on cue when I was criticizing and saying, look, we need more than walks out of you, Tucker, for all the millions we're paying you. Oh, 0-1 pitch from Sears to Tucker. And it misses low. It counts 1-1. And the pitch swung on and grounded to the right of second. Is this going to be another double play? Oh, no, because they were shifted over, and they weren't really in position to be able to do that in a timely fashion. So Torres picks it up, steps to second base, and that's it. But there's 2 away now. And it looks like they're going to make a pitching change, as Teoscar Hernandez is set to come up with 2 outs and a runner at first. And the early reports are that it's Kenley Jansen set to take them out. Oscar, I believe, is batting around 240 now. Might be a tad higher. And still stuck at 11 home runs on the season. And it is Kenley Jansen coming in. And he's pitched in 39 games this year. His ERA is 4. Giving up 7 home runs. And of course, Kenley Jansen was with the Dodgers for several years. He's 38 years old now. But he closed 350 games, has 350 career saves with the Dodgers. And he's going to face Teoscar Hernandez, who's 0 for 3 today. His average is actually 246. Jansen with a very clean delivery. Does not have a particularly high kick. And reaches back almost to like the back part of his knee with his throwing arm before he comes home. I guess if you had really great vision, you can almost see the grip as it comes out from and shows back behind his back. So the 1-0 pitch, or excuse me, the 0-1 pitch, and this is popped foul to the right. And Keith, oh my gosh, Keith falls down. And they miscommunicate between first base and right field. That should have been the 3rd out of the inning. Oh boy, Jansen's not going to be happy about that, but it is 2 strikes on Teo. So that was kind of wild. And Kenley Jansen, although he's approaching 40 years old, has kept opponents to less than 200 as their batting average and gets Teo to foul that one back and out of play. Well placed. So the 0-2 pitch from Jansen to Teoscar. And this one's driven pretty deep. It's going to left center. Is it going to have enough to carry? It does not. Wow, they made the catch right at the wall, and it ends up being the 3rd out of the inning. And Teo bends over in frustration going, man, I was only a few feet away from hitting a dramatic leading home run. But instead it's a long out, and we go to the bottom of the 9th, and the score is still tied 1-1. All right, and Jack Trier, who's been a roller coaster in the second half of the season, is set to come up and keep the score as it is, ideally, if you're a Dodgers fan. If he does, Alaska and I are the only people to vote for the correct outcome, at least in the short term today, and that is that this game would go in extra innings. That was our beginning of the game poll question. Hippie hip jiggle. That's exactly it. Yeah, it's almost like a little pause when he has the ball behind his back. And I know, like in the case of Roki Sasaki, the Dodgers got him this gigantic glove because they thought that people could see what kind of grip he had on the ball before he delivered it, and that would tell them, that would tip them what kind of pitch was coming. But I mean, if you can see it in his hand before he throws it, although it's behind his back as he wraps it and pauses, you'd think that would be an advantage too. But I mean, the guy is still performing at a high level, and he's 38 for crying out loud. So Baez comes in. He's 0 for 2 today, batting .255, and he's in the 8th spot. And the first pitch from the lefty Dreyer in there for a strike, 0-1. The next pitch from Dreyer spiked right into the dirt, the slider, well short of home plate. And the count's 1-1. And Baez blasts this one into left. It's going to get past Teoscar because it's hit so close to the left foul line and bounce against the wall for a stand-up double. And now the winning run is at second base for the Tigers. And if you're joining us for the first time today at LA Press Box, welcome. We're a new channel. I'd love for you to subscribe, join the LA Press Box movement, and give yourself a chance to be able to track us as we expand our broadcast schedule. We're going to continue to follow the Dodgers, but we're also going to be following LA football teams as the season for football is right around the corner. And Clark squares up to bunt, and he lays it down, and he does a good job of moving the runner from second to third. And now with one out, the win is 90 feet away for the Detroit Tigers. And the outfielders have to move in. Let's see if we can see. I'm trying to zoom back. Because if there is a sacrifice fly, this guy is going to tag if it's got any kind of depth. But see, Teo seems like he's kind of at the normal depth back there on the left. Kike is up closer at center. And Kyle Tucker's up a little bit closer. Hopefully they get a little bit closer. But at the same time, I mean, if they could run up and then use momentum on a fly ball after they catch it to generate more force at a long throw home, that'll be effective. But this is another situation where the Dodgers miss Andy Pages, because he's got a very strong arm, and he's also, for the first time this year, an all-star, in part because he's so good at playing the ball off the bat and taking the right angle to wherever the ball is going to be and put himself in a position to be able to make a throw off of that location. So now Lee comes up, the number 2 hitter, who had popped up foul 3 times before his last at bat, and gave Freddie Freeman 3 different times where he caught that ball foul for outs. The last time Lee was up, he singled. And the infield's got to play up. They should be on the grass. They are, with only 1 out. Because, of course, if it's hit on the ground, they have to be able to throw home for the tag. Oh, and this one's thrown really high, And Ben Rortvedt almost had to jump to keep it from going over his head to the backstop. Oh, boy. So the count's 2-1 to Lee. And Lee has that bat out away from his bat. Oh, boy. And he swung with all of his juice, trying to give that one a ride. And I respect that. I mean, that's something that the Dodgers need to do to score runs on sacrifice flies. But he fouls it back. And now the count's 2-2. This is part of the... This is part of the roller coaster that is Jack Dreyer. As he throws the next pitch into the dirt, and Rortvedt does a great job of blocking with his body to prevent the win. And so now it's full count. So 1 out, runners at the corners. And that one was well placed by Dreyer. Lee has to protect the plate and swings and fouls it left to third base. Boy, it'd be great if Dreyer can get him to hit into a double play here. Lee is definitely trying to make something happen. Crowd on their feet. Noise from the box. And Lee fouls another one off. He's fouled 3 pitches off in this one at bat. Lee, born in Taiwan. I have friends from both China and Taiwan, and whether China and Taiwan are the same country or not depends on who you ask. And Dreyer throws that one high for ball 4. Okay. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out. And McGonigal's coming up. He's 0 for 2, but he's walked twice tonight. So disciplined, to say the least. And he's batting .275 on the season with 14 home runs. Now, if there's a ground ball that's hit in the infield, they're going to have to come home. Well, they don't necessarily have to come home if they can turn a double play, but it's going to be a challenge to turn a double play because they are up. Second base and shortstop are up on the grass. So the double play most likely would have to be a throw to home plate first and then to first base. But right now the Dodgers are just trying to prevent anybody from crossing home plate. That's the most important thing. Play up, give yourself a chance. If the ball's hit in the infield, you're able to throw home and get the force for the second out. And the first pitch misses for ball 1. And this pitch, breaking ball, nice one, a slider by Dreyer, gets McGonigal chasing, and the count's 1-1. Dreyer glances over with bases loaded, goes after him with the fastball and jams him, making him foul it back and out of play to the left. And now the count's 1-2 to McGonigal with bases loaded and 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. And this one is swung on and it's hit pretty deep. It's in left center and it's going to be over the head of Teoscar Hernandez, who was playing up for a base hit. And that is going to end the game. The Tigers take advantage of Jack Dreyer and the anemic offensive output yet again by the Dodgers batting order. And the Tigers are celebrating almost like it's the World Series. And, you know, good for them on some level because I think they're 4th in their division. But a really disappointing offensive performance by the Dodgers. Very anemic. almost no power whatsoever, and they waste a really good outing by Blake Snell. In fact, Blake Snell threw 10 strikeouts over 5 innings. But the story of the game is the fact that the Dodgers were not able to put runs together. And so, of course, they drop one to the Tigers. And we'll take a look at the box score here briefly to kind of let um, you know, what we're seeing and what happened. And we'll start with batting. So Shohei Ohtani had 4 at-bats, and as you can see, he had 1 hit, but did not look good at the plate. In fact, Shohei's 1 hit, which was the first hit for the Dodgers in this game, which once again, just like yesterday, came halfway through the game. Absolutely ridiculous. Just blooped into left center. But he struck out a couple of times. Well, he struck out once, but he looked really bad at the plate. I mean, the contact that he made, whether it was for the hit or when he grounded out, his body was just falling to first base as he did it. Freddie Freeman got a hit and did a nice job today, kind of, you know, being tough at the plate, but we need more power from him, The longest in his career that he's gone without hitting a home run is right now. I mean, the total is 44 games. Mookie Betts, very quiet. Max Muncy, over. Tommy Hedman with a hit. Kyle Tucker, a little more productive. He drew 2 walks yesterday, drew 1 today, and had a double. Teoscar Hernandez, just not good enough. And, you know, honestly, I don't know why he's this high in the lineup for Dave Roberts, although there aren't a whole lot of other options unless you put Miguel Rojas in there. Miguel Rojas, he's batting, I think he's got the 3rd highest average for the Dodgers. So the guy deserves more playing time. Sit somebody from the outfield. Put Tommy Edman out there in place of them, and let Miguel start at second, if you ask me. Kike got inserted into the lineup like he did late yesterday. Was not able to deliver a hit. Hunter Fiducia and Ben Rortvedt both played catcher today. Alec Thomas got a hit, even though his average is below 200. He's done some good things since he's been pulled up from the minors. After the injury to Andy Pages. And Rojas did come in and pinch hit once today. Let's go ahead and take a look at what Blake Snell and the other pitchers did. So Blake Snell, as we said before, pitched 5 innings. He only gave up 3 hits. He had double-digit strikeouts. He had 3 walks, but, I mean, 10 strikeouts. So, outstanding job by him. Then he handed the ball off to Seth Halverson. Unfortunately, because Snell had a couple of innings, one in particular, where his pitch count went high, he got pulled earlier than anybody would like to see. But that was kind of the chain reaction as Halverson came in early, leading to Jack Dreyer giving up the game and taking the loss. But Halverson did a good job, did not give up any hits. Vesia gave up 1 hit, but kept them scoreless when he got the baton. Edgardo Enriquez did the same and had a couple of pitches for 104 miles an hour. I mean, that was just something to see. And then, unfortunately, Jack Dreyer did what he did at the end. So tomorrow, the Dodgers get another crack at the Tigers, and it's going to be another morning first pitch. That's going to be just a tad later. I think the first pitch is at 10:40 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll be here again for Sunday morning baseball. Thanks to everybody who joined LA Press Box today, who liked, who subscribed, and who participated in the chat. Appreciate all of you guys, especially for a new channel, and we'll see you again tomorrow.